Hi Bonnie, how you going?
Good.
We heard that you were in Australia for a little bit, so we thought we'd catch up some time with you and have a chat to you about your adventures in roller derby. Can you tell me a little bit about visualization, like breaking it down into a really practical way that people can work on visualization?
That's a daunting question. Visualization.
Well, the animal one was something that resonated really well with our team.
Oh, right. Like game time visualization.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the whole thing about games that makes them so overwhelming is the adrenaline factor. And, you don't usually have adrenaline coursing through your veins throughout a normal day. And then all of a sudden there's this huge flood of it. And so this is what, the fight or flight kicks in, as people say, but actually fight or flight, I feel, is a choice for human beings. It's not necessarily a choice for a rabbit, but we do actually get to choose. And you can choose which type of animal you want to identify with and the type of energy that you want to embody. So if, say, you're feeling like a rabbit, like you're about to just make some movements that don't make a whole lot of sense or lead to anything good, regulating your breathing and then visualizing an animal whose traits you would prefer to embody. Like for me personally, it would be like a shark. I would think about how cool and collected and methodical their movements were, and I would try to be a little more like that. Really helps. So that could be a very, like, whatever animal anyone else considers admirable would be the one that they would think of in those clutch moments. But it's just about managing your adrenaline, and we're not the first creatures in nature to experience it. So there are others that we can emulate and consider and visualize, and it doesn't hurt to study their traits, like outside of the game, to sort of understand like their movements and their posture and things like that. That type of visualization is extremely practical in high adrenaline situations.
Okay, talk to me about Zen Bench. What does that mean?
Zen Bench? Yeah, one of the most challenging things I think in life in general is just to be where you are. And the Zen Bench, like Zen Derby idea, philosophy is just about just be where you are and do what is required of that moment, and don't let your energies shoot off into other directions where they're not necessarily needed or wanted. So it's sort of about like considering like, okay, where am I right now? I'm on the bench. What's supposed to happen here? I'm supposed to relax. Like, just stay calm, just shut my mouth, just use this moment for exactly what is the opportunity presented here, which is just to be quiet, focus on my team, touch somebody, stay involved in this moment, be where I am. And that's really, be here now is the whole Zen philosophy in a nutshell. And it's not as easy as it sounds. It's simple, but it's not easy. What is the most natural, easy thing to do is to say, well, what am I doing now? Nothing. So I'll just watch people who are doing stuff and get really involved and yell at them and try to help. And you can't. You can't help, especially if you're a member of the team. If you're the bench coach, absolutely stay involved in what's happening on the track. But as far as team members go, your place is where you are. So when you're on the track, it's playing the game. And when you're off the track, it's relaxing. And touching your teammates is helpful too, because you understand we are a team and we are relaxing. I'm not just one hyper crazy person who's really amped up on the moment, because you can find yourself exhausted halfway through the game because your energies are being shot all over the place and not managed.
And what about jamnesia?
Jamnesia.
What is that?
I didn't coin that term, but I love it. Jamnesia is like forgetting what happened in the jam. The only solution that I know for that, well, there's two. There's two solutions to jamnesia that I'm aware of. And one is to watch a lot of bout footage, especially of yourself, if you can get your hands on it, and then watch it in slow motion, because having both adrenaline and 1,000 things happening at once can be overwhelming, and you sort of lose what took place and not necessarily present in that moment. And the best way to be present in that moment is to learn how to see things one step at a time. What's happening here? What's happening there? What's happening there? And you sort of take in the information incrementally, even though it's all happening at once. So one thing is you can do anticipatorily before you're in the moment is to watch a lot of footage in slow motion, because it helps you break down the processes and see things one step at a time instead of just a mad rush. And then the thing that you can do in the moment is to regulate your breathing and touch somebody. Become less mental and more physical. The overwhelm is just from being too much in your head and not enough in your body. And so when you touch someone else, you're reminding both yourself and them, I'm not alone and you're not alone. We're here in this moment together. And regulating your breathing helps you welcome adrenaline, where you say, yeah, I'm jacked up right now in a good way. And I'm going to use this to do awesome things with my team, breathing, touching, and just making that moment more physical, more instinctual, and less intellectual.
Mm-hmm. And what about focusing on what happened in the jam before? Do you think about what's just happened, or how do you focus on the game ahead?
It's difficult not to become obsessed with the moment that just happened. Mm-hmm. And I see at every single level of the game, I see people come off of the jam that just happened, and there's a thing that happened, and they get focused on the thing. So either it's a penalty that wasn't called, or a penalty that was called wrong, or some type of injustice, some type of thing that, oh, I'm obsessed with this thing, and I want to talk about the thing, and I want to yell about the thing, and where's the justice for the thing? And all of that is a scattering of energies and completely unnecessary, and 9 times out of 10 it's a waste of your time. So taking that transition from on the track to off the track, realizing that there's probably a thing that you probably want to bitch about it to somebody, and then not doing that and being like, no, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to relax for a second, I'm going to touch somebody. I think that's kind of the answer that I have to your question, whereas don't be obsessed with the thing, like be here now. And ultimately, I think I used to say, like, ultimately the goal to strive for is that someone could literally punch you in the vagina during a jam and that you would come off with no reaction whatsoever. Like, don't care. That was then. This is now. Because there is not a whole hell of a lot you can do about it.
Yeah.
And just recognizing it is what is. It happened. Now, what am I going to do that's, healthy and productive and going to contribute to the rest of this game, instead of getting everyone involved in whatever the thing was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can't change what just happened, but we can focus on what's about to happen. And
yeah, I mean, you can let it
awesome.
screw you up for the rest of the game if you want to, but it's not helpful.
Yeah.